Hi, I'm Jeremy.
Phoebe,
Thais,
Sushan.
Ellie, and today we're going to be analysing From Beyond the Sky and the Earth, A Journey into Bhutan by Jamie Zepper.
Okay, today we're going to start off with Jamie Zeppa's biography and her early life. She was born in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada, and was born in 1964. She completed her MA at York University and then soon thereafter moved to Bhutan and signed a 2-year contract to teach English in Pema Gachel. Despite lots of hardships, she stayed in Bhutan for 9 years. She fell in love, got married, and had a child. And after her stay in Bhutan, she went back to Canada in Toronto to teach English and literal studies at Seneca College. She wrote Beyond the Sky and the Earth, A Journey to Bhutan, a memoir, and it won an award in 1999. It was translated in 7 languages and published in 10 countries. And in 2011, she wrote a novel called Every Time We Say Goodbye. Done.
How'd you stop it?
Go girl!
I don't know.
Do you press the button? We're now going to do a summary of our text, and we're going to start off with paragraph 1.
In paragraph 1, she starts by talking about what she sees and what she's experiencing in Bhutan. There's a quote: "Bhutan is all and only mountains." This suggests that she expected Bhutan to be more amazing than it is, and not just mountains. So this shows that she's feeling a bit bored and not really interested in the place, because she obviously expected it to just be more than just mountains.
Paragraph 2 comes across
Bored.
She comes across as very bored because of the previous paragraph, and in the second paragraph she explains Bhutan in more detail, and this is mainly focused around the weather, and maybe the weather can connect to her feelings. And again in this paragraph she feels not really impressed by what she's seeing. She's very vague, and she's very tired, which suggests why she doesn't have an open mind. She's not very open to her surroundings, which is why she may think that everything's so boring.
In paragraph 3, the audience start to see her opinions changing on the place. She meets these 2 girls who are Canadian, and she says that she wants to be more like them, how they're enthusiastic about the place. So this shows that she wants to like Bhutan, but she's finding it hard because she's doesn't really find it interesting. Yeah.
Paragraph 4. It's filled with thoughts and feelings, and she starts to get more interested in the place and her surroundings and stuff. And she talks about what she expected of the place and what she's seeing. And she compares Canada to Bhutan.
In paragraph 5, she describes what is around her, around in Bhutan and that kind of area. It's a very descriptive paragraph. It's quite a descriptive paragraph, yeah. The paragraph 5 and 6 are actually quite a similar paragraph, so this applies to paragraph 6 as well. She's actually quite uneasy about her surroundings as well. She's a bit, she's a bit unsure about it. And then paragraph 7, she goes on to describe what people wear and what they look like, sort of description of the race of Bhutan. And then there's a bit of an idea of tradition in there, which is quite interesting. And then she almost feels intimidated. They are the only few foreigners there because there aren't many people going on holiday to Bhutan. Paragraph 8, she's impressed of how people speak English and they're so nice. She's very complimentary about the race. Then paragraph 8, she is shocked by the people's ways. She's it's quite a culture shock. Then in paragraph 9, she starts to enjoy Bhutan. She really promotes the country and it almost makes you want to go to Bhutan. And she also, in paragraph 9, she goes to a lesson with other teachers, which is quite interesting. Then she starts to discover more interesting things about Bhutan, gives good descriptions of them, which is nice. And then in paragraph 10, she compares it to Canada. She compares it to Canada in paragraph 10. And then she finds that she admires the country and she really likes it. She also concludes her decision to like it by comparing it to its history, which gives us a good roundup of the whole text, and it's overall a very interesting read.
So here we've got a first person narrative.
The first person narrative allows us to relate to the passage, makes us feel like we're the person speaking, and it is really effective.
Here's a long sentence.
The long sentence gives us a lot of information, a lot of description. The words used give us a lot more information than what we already knew.
Here there's a lot of place names, which also gives us an idea of what's like around. And lists, which is very informative. There's a metaphor here.
The metaphors are mountains rise to meet the moon. This is great, really effective. Compares something we wouldn't normally compare, which gives us a new perspective on what is being said.
This colon, like punctuation, is for lists, and it kind of it breaks the paragraph up, and it kind of makes it easier to read. And here is she's put some geometric figures in there, which gives a clear description.
Or gives us an idea of what's happening.
Yeah. And here's a negative description, like when we consider her feelings.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
So there's in this paragraph there's more long sentences and lists, which it kind of, for her feelings, makes us think that she's very bored still, as it's just lists, descriptions and stuff. She's not really showing any feeling. The only feeling that we're kind of getting is through the way that she's describing everything.
She's kind of just like repeating herself.
Yeah. And then these numbers provide the reader with information, and it gives us an idea of lack of development in this sentence. It doesn't even have traffic lights. So she's very shocked by what Bhutan has to offer. And again, there's some more lists.
A food list that gives us sensory imagery, which is really sensory.
So in these annotations, there's a key. So the yellow, which is here, is language features such as adjective, metaphors, stuff like that. And the orange is thoughts and feelings, like personal thoughts and opinions. The green is inside perspective, like what the writer feels and sees. And the pinks are the outside perspective, which is like documented and facts and like informative stuff. So at the top here, we notice some thoughts and feelings, and like when she says cracked sidewalks, that could maybe link to her thoughts and feelings as she's not really enjoying herself. And then she just gives us a few descriptions about what she's seeing yet again. And then
There isn't many language features used.
no, not really. There's only 2 that have been highlighted, and they're kind of like made up words in a way.
Yeah.
And then there's some orange around here for her thoughts and feelings, and it's kind of like shown through metaphors, which can be a language feature as well. There's also some inside perspective in this part, which is just showing how she feels and what she sees and like her own opinion and stuff. And then we have more thoughts and opinions down here, and insights with perspectives. And then there's not much we could annotate in this big paragraph. It's very much factful, like showing its history, and then there's some documents and facts and stuff, which is pretty much the whole paragraph. And towards the end, she kind of concludes her extracts with a personal thought and opinion, saying that she was very admired by the small country. And yeah,
Just overall, there's not really a lot of it's just very,
factual.
yeah, it's like her talking about what she's seeing. 'Cause there are quite a lot of thoughts and feelings in there, but there's not many metaphors.
They're not obvious, they're shown through.
But the story starts to develop from the start. She has a negative view on the
Yeah, it developed from negative to positive.
Bhutan. Then at the end, she goes with a much more positive view and really enjoys Bhutan.
Yeah.
Throughout From Beyond the Sky and the Earth, first-person narrative is used. This allows us to put us in the shoes of the writer, which withdraws an emotional effect from us as we feel as if everything that happens is happening to us via the use of words like I and my and stuff. So it's very, very effective and makes the passage a whole lot more engaging and interesting to read. Proper nouns are also used. Words like Thimphu, Europe, Northern Africa, Bhutan, Thimphu again. These are place names, proper nouns. They tell us where she's travelled and really emphasises the fact that she has travelled to a lot of places to get to where she is now, Bhutan. And it's very interesting, the place names, and that gives us a lot more information about what has happened. Lists also, once again, gives us a lot of information. There are many lists throughout this. This is a little show of some lists that are in the passage, and a lot of lists like food, and she uses very descriptive terms like hideously coloured orange cream biscuits. This is a very descriptive bit of writing, and really gives us information about it. So yeah, the list's a very good way to give a lot of information and make us feel like we are living it, and give us a sort of cultural insight on what it is like to be in Bhutan. Dates are used once again. These give us historical dates, so what's happened in the past, and makes it very, very informative and really engages the reader, as we get a lot more information about what has happened to Bhutan. And it really does put things into place. Now, time for some 7 key questions. What type of text is it? This is in fact a non-fiction test, very informative non-fiction text. Who wrote it? Jamie Zeppa wrote it. We've talked about her. What is it about? It's about Jamie Zeppa's travels in Bhutan and her views on the locals and culture in Bhutan. How does the content relate to the author? Jamie Zeppa was working as a lecturer in English at the Shubuch College near Trashigang in eastern Bhutan. What narrative viewpoint has been written from? It is written from the personal viewpoint of Jamie Zeppa, and also written in the present tense, as we've seen with the use of I's, my's, first person, which is very, very personal. When was it written in relation to current affairs? The story takes place in 1988, when Jamie Zeppa had just completed an MA at York University, which puts into perspective how she was quite a young person when it was written, and the year, it was quite a long time ago when Bhutan was a less developed place as it is now. Alright, that's it for the analysing. Alright, cheers guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and you know a lot about Bhutan and this text now. Thanks.